Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, from Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977, it's Monday, and you know what that means. It's time for another episode of the Raw Event Center. And now here's the man that will bring you all the wrestling action from Monday Night Raw, Mr. Eric M. Lima. Thank you very much, Mr. Announcer, sir. Well, hello there, everyone. Welcome to yet another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977, episode number 2,223 of the show. It is 10:46 p.m., May the 5th, 2025, Cinco de Mayo. May the 5th be with you, and all that good stuff. What's going on, everybody? For another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans 1977, we're going to talk about Monday Night Raw, the final Raw before Backlash, this coming Saturday. We're going to have a little bit of fun with that. And as you know, there's a lot of matches on the card for Monday Night Raw, and a lot of people are not very hyped up about Backlash, but, well, I think everybody should be, but, like I said, it's going to be very interesting to see these couple of matches that we're going to see. We're going to see both Intercontinental Championships on the line. In fact, it has been announced. Well, the other Intercontinental title match, I'll get to that. We know Gunther going one-on-one against Pat McAfee. We all know the WWE Championship on the line once again. John Cena against Randy Orton, who will be fighting for the title in his hometown of St. Louis. So there's a and the Women's Intercontinental title is also on the line. Is Lyra Valkyria going up against her former friend Becky Lynch, and that's going to be a heck of a matchup for sure. I mean, that one could steal the card. A couple of Irish losses going at it for the championship. Fella, So speaking of which, we'll get to him momentarily. Right now, Jey Uso came out to address the Omaha crowd instead of me yeeting. I was holding my box of frosted yeets. You gotta try that cereal; it's pretty good. That cereal is pretty good. The box of frosted yeets, and he was about to call out Logan Paul, but instead there was a different Paul that came out, Paul Heyman, and Paul Heyman kind of grilled Jey Uso, and then he decided, well, we're here out because we need power. And that title you have, you don't know how to hold the power. So Seth, he says, on the behalf of Seth Rollins, he's challenging him for the WWE World Heavyweight title. And he says, you want it? Tell him I accept. So backstage, Heyman tells Seth Rollins he fell for it. And then he's talked to Braun Breaker about why this match had to happen and what the story is behind that. So there's that. Braun Breaker, that got him thinking, almost like Steiner Map to me. One-on-one, Penta versus J.D. McDonough in an internationally flavored matchup. And Carlito gets involved during the matchup. But then Finn Balor also got involved, but he was caught by the referee. Now, keep in mind, Liv Morgan's got some time off because she's going to film a movie, and I think in Japan, I think it was. Or is it Singapore? I forget. I know she's overseas filming a movie. So, looks like her and Raquel Rodriguez will be holding on to those women's tag team titles a little bit longer. Most of the teams have been split up due to releases that has happened recently over this past weekend. So, and a lot of fans were upset about that. Don't blame them one bit. So, as Finn Balor and Carlito got ejected, here comes Chad Gable to try to get himself involved wearing his El Grande Americano t-shirts. And I'm going to say it one more time for you people out there who are too stupid to know, too stupid to still think that Chad Gable and El Grande Americano are two different people. They're one and the same. It's Chad Gable. Come on, people. Because Chad Gable is too short to even, and too big-eared, and he's got a big mouth that can't shut up. So what does he do? I'm going to get a mask. It gives me powers and stuff, and I'm going to be this different superhero. Come on. You're not fooling anybody, Chad Gable. You're El Grande Americano. You're lucky you're not in that persona tonight, dummy. Anyways, Chad Gable gets involved, but despite all those people getting involved, Penta ends up winning the match still. And then backstage, Grayson Waller and Austin Theory, they want some TV time, and Adam Pearce goes, I'll book you a match. And then And then Grayson Waller says, hand Austin Theory the match. He goes, fine. And he goes, you got yourself a match tonight. And then Austin Theory says, thanks, but my opponent says I'm going to keep it a surprise. Can't trust it. So in attendance, former UFC fighter Anthony Smith. And guess who came out to face Austin Theory? Sheamus, the fella. And Austin Theory kind of gave a look at Grayson Waller. I mean, Grayson Waller is playing Austin Theory for a fool. Here's the deal. Here's what I'm thinking. A-Town Down Under will be splitting up pretty soon. And I am hoping that Austin Theory knocks out Grayson Waller. And then I think Grayson Waller thinks Austin Theory is stupid. Let me tell you something. Austin Theory could end up being the future guy. We'll find out for sure. Anyways, Sheamus did win the matchup, but then AJ Styles, comes. And also, it's fine because of Penta's victory over JD McDonough. Penta will have an Intercontinental title shot at Backlash against Dominic Mysterio. So AJ Styles comes in Judgment Day's locker room while they were talking, and AJ says, I'm not going to fight. I'm just going to give you a little bit of warning. Whoever walks out Intercontinental Champion, I'm coming after it. So AJ Styles once again wants to be the Intercontinental Champion. So, but as Chad Gable was talking to the New Day says, about time the American Made gets a shot and an opportunity. But then as they were talking, Becky Lynch interrupts him and said, well, okay, go on, best of luck. So Becky Lynch comes out and addresses the Omaha crowd after they were booing her. She said, you gotta dare boo me? You should be talking about Lyra Valkyria. But the Lyra Valkyria, comes out, interrupts Becky Lynch. She goes, recycling, I'm not that. Valkyria stood up for herself. And then both women started to throw down. They were brawling, to the point where referees come to separate them. And then, Becky threw her temper, but Lyra Valkyria was staying tall with the Intercontinental title in tow. Non-title matchup: Io Sky and Roxanne Perez went one-on-one. Now, I don't know what happened. When Io Sky did a move and she went all to the crazy, and then she felt a twinge in her right knee. I'm hoping that she's okay. She needs to ice up that knee. Anyways, Io Sky went one-on-one with Roxanne Perez. It was a heck of a matchup between these two lovely young ladies. But in the end, Io Sky won the matchup. But then Roxanne Perez decided to show respect to Io, shake hands, and Io goes, yay, I like that. And then as Roxanne Perez was watching on as she walked out of the ring, Io was blindsided by Julia. And then Roxy started smiling. She knew what she was doing. And they were attacking Io Sky and laid her out. Well, was Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley was in Perth, in Australia, in her home country, promoting Crown Jewel and Raw and SmackDown in Perth, Australia. I'm really excited about that. And so there you go. Now, in attendance, the new University of Nebraska football team and Matt Rule, and as they were getting ready to watch the next match, Otis versus Rusev. These two guys went at it until Rusev hit the heel kick, and it took advantage and hit Otis with the accolade. Rusev ended up winning the matchup. But Akira Tozawa wants a piece of Rusev. Rusev goes, nah. And he starts walking away until while Tozawa and Maxine Dupree were checking up on Otis, Rusev blindsides Akira Tozawa from behind and continues to brawl with Otis as well. Meanwhile, Maxine Dupree did not know what to do. She was panicking, and Natalya was there to console her. And so officials and referees break it all up, and Adam Pearce was chewing out Rusev. But then Rusev just walks away. Meanwhile, Adam Pearce was still in the ring, overseeing the Pat McAfee Gunther face to face. Pat McAfee said that Gunther is soft, and then I think Gunther got a little upset about that, shoves Pat McAfee, but walks away after speaking his say. But then the main event, the World Heavyweight title on the line, Jey Uso versus Seth Rollins. Braun Breaker gets involved during the matchup. Sami Zayn tries to counter. Braun Breaker takes everybody out during the matchup. And also took out Jey Uso with the clothesline as well, and with the spear as well. But then they all thought they were going to finish off Jey Uso and take the title. Here comes CM Punk, climbing everybody with chairs, throwing the match out. Technically it was Rollins by disqualification, but in a time of a DQ, a title will never change hands unless it's Quebec province rules. So, that is it. That's all the time we have on this episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977, episode 2223. Thank you for tuning in. Tomorrow we're going to have some High Rollers and NXT. So that's going to be on the menu tomorrow. So until the next episode comes rolling around, Mr. Announcer, take us home. And remember, kids, be like Billy. Behave yourself. That is all for today's episode of the show. This is Mr. Announcer speaking for Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. A Big Beefy E and do it for Bob Saget production and in association with a Raving Bull for 3000 Telepictures and Distribution. Thank you for watching another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. See you later on the next episode of the show. Goodbye for now.